Look, I'm going to be straight with you. There's a guy driving a $200,000 Range Rover right now who's one emergency away from bankruptcy. And there's another guy in a 10-year-old Honda Accord who's worth $5 million dollars, and you'd never know it. This is the fundamental problem with how we think about money in 2026. My name is Gary, and I spend way too much time thinking about wealth statistics. And if you're someone who's looked at your bank account and wondered, am I actually rich? Am I in the top 1%? Where do I actually stand compared to everyone else? Make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up, because we're about to answer that question with actual numbers. Here's the thing. Most people confuse looking rich with being wealthy. And that confusion is exactly why they never actually become wealthy. You know what's funny? The truly wealthy people, the people who actually have generational wealth, they're usually the most boring looking people in the room. I was reading through some research on millionaires, and one of the most consistent findings is that the average millionaire in America is living in a house worth less than $500,000. They're driving cars that are 5, 7, sometimes 10 years old. Their kids go to regular schools. They're not flying private jets on weekends. But here's what most people don't realize. There's a massive difference between income and wealth. You can make $500,000 a year and be completely broke. You know why? Because you spent $510,000 that year. Income is just the money coming in. Wealth is what's actually left after you subtract everything you owe. This distinction is where everything changes. Now you might be thinking, okay, Gary, but I have a six-figure income. Doesn't that make me rich? Not necessarily, and that's actually going to shock you when you see where six figures lands you in the actual wealth rankings.
Before we start, I put together a free PDF called the Money Leaks Checklist, Anus Tamus 2025 edition. It breaks down the 10 biggest places people lose money without realizing it, and how you can plug those leaks today. If you want to stop wasting cash and redirect it into savings or investments, grab it free. The link is in the description and pinned comment. Download it now. It takes 10 seconds, and at Paul glance you're persuasive. And it might be the most profitable thing you do today. Now, back to our main video.
Let's start with income. As of 2025, here's where you actually stand. Top 50% of earners, you need a household income of about $83,730. If you're above that, congratulations. You're making more than half of America. Top 25%, that's approximately $150,000 annually. We're talking comfortable lifestyle, nice vacations, decent retirement contributions, no sweating the small stuff at the grocery store. Top 10%? Here's where it gets interesting. You need $251,360. At this level, and this is important, most people have what I call breathing room. You can afford emergencies. You're building real assets. You're not stressing about money constantly. Top 5%? That jumps to $335,575. This is where you're talking about significant quality of life improvement. Your kids can go to better schools. You're taking real vacations. You might own multiple properties. Top 1%? This is the shocking one. Household income for the top 1% is approximately $659,060. For an individual earner, we're looking at around $450,000 plus. Now, here's where most people get it wrong. They see those numbers and they think, okay, if I make $250,000 a year, I'm in the top 10%, so I'm basically rich. This is where it gets really interesting, because income and wealth are two completely different things. Net worth, the real metric. Net worth is your assets minus your liabilities. It's what you actually own, and this is the number that actually matters for wealth. The median American household, their net worth is $193,000. That's the middle. Half of America has more than that, half has less. Top 25%? you need $659,000 in net worth. Notice something? That's actually higher than the income threshold for top 25%. This is because wealth compounds. People who earn less but keep their money eventually have more wealth than high earners who spend everything. Top 10%? Now we're talking $1.9 million. This is the threshold where something fundamental shifts. At $1.9 million, your money starts working for you. If you invest that conservatively at 6% returns, you're making $114,000 a year just from investments. You don't have to work anymore. Your money is doing the work. Top 5%? $3.8 million. Top 1%? Here's the jaw dropper. $11.6 million to $13.6 million minimum. So here's what I want you to understand. Someone making $400,000 a year but spending $420,000 a year will never reach top 10% wealth status. They'll be stuck forever on the income treadmill. But someone making $120,000 a year, living on $60,000 and investing the rest, they're on a completely different trajectory. This is where the psychology of money becomes everything. Section 4, the psychology. Where money gets weird. 7:15 to 8:45. I want you to think about your own money stress. Right now, today, where does your stress come from? If you're in the bottom 50%, your stress comes from survival. One car repair, one medical bill, and you're panicking. You're in what I call disaster mode. Every unexpected expense is a potential catastrophe. Move to top 25% to top 10%. This is where something magical happens. You stop treading water. Your stress shifts from, can I survive this, to, can I optimize this? You have a real emergency fund. You can send your kids to better schools. You're not eating ramen on good days and slightly better ramen on bad days. But here's what most people don't realize. This is also where your mindset needs to change, and most people fail to make this change. Most people who earn six figures are still thinking like someone making $80,000. They see the extra money and they spend it. Better car, bigger house, nicer restaurants. The same lifestyle inflation that kept them broke at $80,000 keeps them broke at $250,000. The wealthy, the people in the top 1%, they think completely differently. They don't ask, how much can I spend? They ask, how much can I keep? And then there's something even weirder that happens at the ultra-wealthy level. Once you hit top 1%, once you've got $15, $20, $50 million, money stops being about money. It becomes abstract. The difference in actual daily life between someone with $2 million and someone with $20 million? It's honestly not that big. They both drive nice cars. They both live in nice houses. They both take vacations. The difference is that the $20 million person has transcended financial decision-making entirely. They don't think about money anymore. Ever? Section 5. Why people plateau. The strategy trap. 8:45 to 9:30. Here's what I want you to understand that most financial advice misses. The strategies that work at one level don't work at the next level. Metaphor. Building your first $100,000? That's hiking a hill. You follow a path. You budget. You save. You cut unnecessary expenses. Simple. Reaching top 1%? That's mountain climbing. You need different equipment. You need a different strategy. You need to understand real estate, business, investments, tax optimization. The budgeting that got you from broke to $100,000 won't get you from $1 million to $10 million. It'll just bore you to death. Most people fail to reach the top 10%, and I mean fail, they plateau completely, because they're optimizing for income when they should be optimizing for net worth. They get a promotion and they immediately upgrade their car, their house, their lifestyle. The two-step forward, two-step back dance. The wealthy are obsessed with one metric. What percentage of my income am I converting to net worth? Some people making $150,000 are converting 5% to wealth. Some people making $80,000 are converting 30% to wealth. Which person is going to be rich in 10 years? Section 6. The path forward. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, okay, Gary, I'm making good money, but I'm not actually building wealth, here's what changes everything. 1. You separate your money mindset from your income level. Stop thinking like someone at your last income level. 2. You ruthlessly optimize your net worth ratio. Every single dollar you earn has two choices. You spend it or you invest it. Most people are on autopilot, just spending whatever they make. Start being intentional. 3. Once you've built that foundation, once you've got real assets, you start building systems. A business, real estate, investments. This is where wealth actually scales. This is where you transcend the paycheck life. You're not going to become top 1% by working harder. You're going to become top 1% by building wealth while you sleep. And that only happens if you stop spending like you're rich and start investing like you want to. Be wealthy. The question isn't, how much money do I need to be rich? The question is, how much money am I keeping? If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment and let me know which wealth tier you're aiming for. And if this video made you think differently about your money, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the next one.